everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the iRobot Roomba J9 Plus. I did receive the sample directly from iRobot, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Here's a look at the retail box and packaging. You can learn more about its clean base, its self-emptying base right here with a great diagram showing you how everything works. We can learn more about its cleaning system on the back of the box. You'll see a nice image of it. We have that same clean base information again on the side. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and see what's inside. Here are all the contents. First up, we have our product literature with safety information, 1-year warranty info, and we have our getting started guide. Couple of simple steps on both sides to get everything up and running. Next, you'll see we have our power cord and cable, extra air filter here, extra side cleaning brush, and last but not least, we have the vacuum itself and our clean base. Let's look at these in more detail. Looking at the top of the J9 Plus, you'll notice the really unique gold color. Depending on the light that you look at it in, it kind of just gives off a couple of different hues, but I'd say mostly gonna be gold. Really pretty. iRobot's logo and branding front and center, one control button. Let's look at it from the front. You'll see our camera and sensor right there with navigational bumper, sensors on the side, iRobot combo branding there. Flip it over to the back side. We have our dustbin that we can eject and pop out right there. Then you'll see the other side with bumper and sensors. Let's flip it over to the very bottom. 2 spring-loaded drive wheels, side cleaning brush, omnidirectional wheel, charging contacts, cliff sensor so it won't fall down the steps. We have dirt and dust detection there, different floor types. It'll be able to identify Aeroforce cleaning system with our dual rubber brush rollers. This can pivot basically up and down, left and right to compensate for any sort of uneven floors, giving us the best clean possible, making the most amount of contact. And then our automatic dirt disposal, you'll see that little flap right there. That's how the bin empties itself with our clean base. Let's open up the bin. We'll see it from this side. We have our filter. Pop it out to remove, replace, clean as needed. We can open this up if we have to manually clean or empty our dustbin. You'll see it from all different sides and angles right there. A little friendly reminder not to get the filter wet. You're not going to want to wash that. Now let's look at the clean base. Looking at the top of the clean base, you'll see our iRobot leather strap right here to open up to reveal our vacuum bag already installed with one extra one in storage. They even have instructions for you to install and remove the bag built into the top of the lid. Then moving right along, you'll see our modern design with these lines on our plastic there that are grooved for us. Then moving further down, you'll see a code for the vacuum, charging contacts. This is where it's going to self-empty. We also have some nice grip and tread for the wheels as it drives up and rests in place on the charger. Side profile, we got the iRobot logo and branding and venting on this side. Very similar on the other side without the venting or the branding. We'll flip it over to the very bottom of the base. You'll see we have a channel right here that is see-through at the front, so if you have any clogs, we can easily pop this off to clean as needed. Multiple points of contact to give this grip on flat surfaces to rest and stay in place. We also have some additional product spec and information for you right there. And on the very back side, you'll see where our power cord connects, built-in cable management and channels on both the left and the right side to route that out. This just helps us keep everything nice and tidy and get it as close to the wall as possible. Now let's go ahead, let's charge up our vacuum and try it out. cleans out of the way, so let's see how the vacuum is held up. I'm seeing just a little bit of dust up at the top here, as you would expect, as it's agitating and stirring up stuff off your floor. You'll see some more dirt and dust right here on the sides. Flip it over to the very bottom. I'm not seeing any tangles. Maybe one right here. We got one little piece. That was more so stuck on the backside than the brush roller at all. But look, we'll actually put it right back in there, and you'll see it's gone. So that's great to see. Side cleaning brushes usually get some tangles on them, but I'm not noticing any right here on our Roomba. Dustbin's going to be full, so let's take a look at the contents inside the dustbin right here. Super disgusting. Pet hair, we got dog hair in there, a lot of crumbs. Let's dump it out so you get a better feel for everything that's in there. Look at that. Dog hair, human hair, crumbs, dirt, and really fine dust and dirt particles as well. Got some stickers from my kids, leaves, mulch clippings. You get the idea. With that first clean out of the way, now we can look at the iRobot app. This is what it's going to look like when you enter into your J9 to view its settings or to activate it to start cleaning. So first you'll notice this says unable to start. It'll give you your status indicators there, cleaning, pause, that sort of thing. In our case, it wants to be put back down on a flat surface. You'll see we have our charging icon there. We also have our map icon right above that. We can view our main floor map, how we have everything all squared off in different rooms. We can divide rooms down at the bottom. We can relabel rooms. We can set zones. If you want to add like a keep out zone or a clean zone, you can do that right here. So if you want to add a keep out zone, just drag and drop, reposition as you see fit with that, and then hit save. And we could do the same thing again for our clean zones, right? Where do you want it to clean? That area. You can set that zone and name it, so then you can dispatch your Roomba just to go to that particular zone in your house. So we have both of those options there within the map. Very simple again to set up and customize as you see fit, depending on your home environment. Our home environment's very simple and easy, so no issues mapping. But typically I find with Roombas, they take a lot longer to map than your other RoboVacs from, let's say, Dreamy or Roborock or even EcoVacs. Further down in the app, you'll see your favorites tab. This is where you have your favorite cleaning settings. You want to clean everywhere, just a particular zone, just a particular room. You can set all that up right here and add favorites in the top right-hand corner. Then we can set a schedule for our Roomba if we want. So this does have scheduling features. So create a schedule based on time. So pick and choose days of the week, how you want it to clean, which areas you want it to clean. And we also have the automation option. So this is smart enough. You don't have to set a time, but it's smart enough when you leave your home, it will detect that and clean for you. So which days do you want to automate your clean that way? Pick and choose how you want to schedule. And then you'll see further down, we have our cleaning history. So let's look at our cleaning history. There we go. Shows you everywhere it was able to clean. So right here, kitchen table and legs. That's why you're seeing some area not green. It can identify floor types too. That's a rug, rug, and rug. So if you have carpets, things like that, it will be able to detect them there. Gives you a nice breakdown too. So it ran for almost an hour and cleaned 500 square feet. So keep that in mind. So, and then you'll see it give us a little update here. Unable to empty the bin because the bag's missing. That's so we could actually show you what we vacuumed up. And then we can opt into obstacle image review if we want right there too, which is pretty sweet. So make sure you have that too so you can see some objects and obstacles in the future. Any other messages will show up right there. Then we can view a breakdown of our product's health. So it's going to be available. Once it's got to populate a little bit more, you'll be able to see that. Come back into the app if you want. Then we can learn more about our Roomba. We can locate it. We have our clean base settings right there to make sure it's up to date and everything like that. We can adjust our cleaning preferences. Do you want 1, 2 passes or room size clean? What do you want to do when the bin is full? What sort of behavior for the Roomba? Object, obstacle detection. Do you want that automatic or off? Definitely recommend turning that on. Do you want careful drive turned on or off? Maybe a little more sensitive. And then suction settings, medium, low, or high. Pick and choose what you want with the suction settings right there. Child lock, status lights, language, reboot, Wi-Fi network, all that good stuff located in the product section. So very simple app, easy to navigate. Also want to point out at the bottom, you might have some beta options. Check back there in the future too to see if there's any new features you could try out with your RoboVac. So how does the J9 Plus stack up against the competition? Well, we'll be comparing it not only within iRobot's lineup, but also with the overall averages of over 50 vacuums that we've personally tested. So first up, we like to look at max suction power. This is measured in PAs. Unfortunately, this information is not published or available, which leads me to believe it's not something they're proud of per se, because it's going to be below the average. The average PAs we see is about 4,000. So why do I say that? Well, because you'll see when we measure max CFM, this is one of those variables that kind of goes hand in hand with your PA score. When we measure this, we're below average pretty substantially. So I'm guessing it's not published for that reason, but really I'm just speculating at this point. The J9 Plus got one of the best scores. The only other score that was higher was the Combo J9 Plus. We got a score of 3.9. The brand average is 3.7, but you'll see the overall average is still a solid 2 to 3 points above what we're seeing with the Roombas. But the good news is, guys, they more than make up for it in the real world, which is the most important thing in my opinion. I don't care what the stats say. How does it actually perform day to day? So we've tested all of them in bedding, coffee grounds, and the carpet to see what they're able to vacuum out. And we got a perfect score with the J9 Plus. 100 out of 100, did a fantastic job in our deep clean. The brand average overall is 89, so well above average by about 11 points. And you'll see we're about 14 points above the typical RoboVac out there. So deep cleaning is going to be key with this vacuum. Next, let's talk about decibels. We got a max decibel readout vacuuming on carpet of 70. The brand average is 68. The overall average is 69. The good news here is there's no noticeable difference between your average RoboVac and this RoboVac. It's not any louder and it's not any quieter. Next, let's talk about battery life measured in minutes. We don't know the battery life for this vacuum. iRobot has not published the information. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably around that 90-minute mark, give or take. Usually that's what we see for the J series, if we can ever find them advertised. Sometimes we see it advertised as high as like 140 minutes or so. I would just expect this to last for at least a solid hour plus, but it might have to go back home and recharge depending on your clean settings, your preferences, and what it's trying to accomplish. For me, in my house, over 500 square feet of floor, cleaned it without having to go back home and recharge. So maybe you can use that as a metric for you. But I'd expect it to be less than the average of 150 minutes, but maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised with your home environment. But the good news is it can recharge and resume. So if for some reason it doesn't finish its cleaning job, it will remember where it stopped to charge, and then after it's finished charging, it'll go back and finish cleaning up. So for me, when mine run at night, doesn't matter if it has to have, 6 hours to clean it, so it can clean for an hour, charge for an hour, and then clean for another hour. I don't care because it'll be clean by the time I'm up. Next, battery capacity. Again, this is unknown. From the averages we have been able to find within their product lineup, about 2,200 milliamp hours, below the average of 3,600. For this particular vacuum, I'd be pleasantly surprised to see if it was 2,200 or so. I like to think it's going to be a little bit more because this vacuum has done a great job cleaning with that higher CFM value. Next, let's talk about height. There's no LiDAR navigation on this. It just navigates from a camera on the front bumper. This has a height of 3.4 inches, below the brand average of 3.5. The I series has a little sensor up top that usually bumps it up that 0.1 inch. The overall average is 3.6 because that includes vacuums that skew it higher that have LiDAR navigation modules up at the top of their vacuums. Next, bin capacity measured in milliliters. This has a 400 milliliter bin capacity. The brand average is 380 milliliters. Overall average is 420, so we're well within range. Typically, you find smaller bin capacities on vacuums that self-empty because, yes, they self-empty. So you find larger bin capacities on vacuums that don't self-empty to allow you to make less trips to the trash can to empty. And last, but definitely not least, let's talk about the cost of this vacuum. So compared to the brand average, we're a couple $100 more than your typical Roomba, but this gives you some of the best cleaning abilities available today from iRobot and allowing you to have the camera to sense objects, pet waste, and you still pick up a self-empty base. So it is going to be more than your average a RoboVac out there that also would offer self-empty. I would say they also offer mopping modules and pads in some capacity, and some will and won't have just as advanced navigation. So the trade-off here is you got iRobot's cleaning system and ecosystem, and one of the best cleaning systems with that AeroForce dual brush roller system, and a really cool design. I love the design of this one and its color versus the average vacuum out there. So just something you have to weigh on your own with your budget and what works best for you. So after using the iRobot J9 Plus, let me share with you my final thoughts. I really like this vacuum. It's gonna be up there in my top 3 favorite from an aesthetic look. They nailed it with the color. It gives me that S9 Plus vibes, and I'm here for it. I'm loving everything about it. For this particular vacuum though, it is on the expensive side. I love the clean that we get, love all of that, but we're missing mopping, we're missing mop washing, cleaning, all that good stuff with this vacuum. Yes, you can say there's the combo J9 Plus, but you got to shell out hundreds more to even get that, and at that point, you can get the best of the best from other brands like Roborock, Dreamy, or EcoVac. So I'm not sure where it fits in the grand scheme of things. I love the vacuum, it's fantastic, but the value isn't there just for how expensive it is versus the competition. So it kind of leaves me in this no man's land. Like, if you have it, great, you're gonna love it, I love it, but like, should you actually buy compared to X, Y, or Z? And probably most of the time when you're balancing that scale, you probably wouldn't end up with the J9 Plus, which is a bummer because it looks great, works great, super fantastic clean, but value compared to other features, mopping, mop washing, refilling, all that good stuff, probably make you decide against it.